Hello, my name is David Dojcinovski, and I am an Academy for Mathematics, Science, and Engineering student. And for my SLE experience, I was interning at Picatinny Arsenal. Picatinny Arsenal is a military research and manufacturing facility, and it is one of the largest military research sites in the United States. While at Picatinny Arsenal, I worked under one Mr. Gregory Hayter, and he is a mechanical engineer. He's working under a government contract, not a private contract, and he was doing research regarding armament firing. While I was there, I was working with Aditya Vinod and Rohit Nabanapudi, and we were given tasks that involved programming, cataloging data, and various other smaller tasks. My day would consist of going through the gate, arriving at Mr. Hayter's building, getting paged in, and completing various daily tasks or working on my programming. While at work, I had to be extremely conscious and careful about internet usage and taking pictures of the workplace, so I don't have many pictures many pictures that I took myself. One of the larger projects that I worked on was measuring equipment and dimensions of equipment in 3 different warehouses to then fit them and make a presentation for fitting them into a different warehouse because the higher ups wanted to move the 3 warehouses into one. And that was just me. And then with Rohit Aditya and we worked on a larger project regarding a patent to save children from dying in hot cars, and we were looking for a potential military extension of that patent. So on the left side, me and Aditya were working near that tower. It was closed while we were there, but there was a little place nearby that we were doing work in. And on the right is one of the warehouses that I was cataloging. This is the first slide of the project that we had, which was called Project SAVE, Stress Assessment and Vitals Evaluation. And now we're going to move on to CTE standards. So Career and Technical Education Standards. The first one I really did was 9.3.IT.8. And it's recognize and analyze potential IT security threats to develop and maintain security requirements. So one of the big things at my workplace was operational security, OPSEC. And the biggest way that we maintained OPSEC was by never putting our working computers onto the internet unless it was for short specified periods of time. So usually what I would do is I would have to do something on my phone to like look something up on my phone instead. And one time I download something onto my phone, and then from my phone I downloaded it onto the computer, not connecting the computer to the internet. Now moving on, so 9.3.st-sm.2 apply science mathematical concepts to the development of plans, processes, and projects that address real-world problems. One of these was when I was working on my project with designing the warehouse movement, the 3 warehouses into one. So I had to measure out and measure dimensions of various machines and stacks of materials in these warehouses, and then use a CAD program to fit them into a computer representation of the warehouse that was supposed to be moved into. I had to calculate layout and make a sensible plan on how to move everything around, and I had to pretty much use measurements and math to make sure everything fit right. So I also did some logistical stuff, so obviously putting materials near the machines they're going to be used by so that large amounts of stuff doesn't have to be moved across the other side. So that was one of the real world applications that I did. Then we have 9.3.st-et.2, which is display and communicate STEM information. So we did this at our workplace. We had notebooks, and we would share the information that we found by writing it down in our notebook, and we would write down any ideas or plans that we had and put it in a notebook to kind of mark our progress and to show any research we did. That's how we displayed and communicated it. We also would obviously email, and we would call each other and communicate about different sensors that we found for Project Save, and we would share patents through email or text patents over so that we could look at them, because we can't use other people's patents, so we had to make sure that we knew what was available to us. So then for our 4 CTE standard was 9.3.IT-PRG.6, which is program a computer application using the appropriate programming language. During the summer, in particular, I was tasked with programming a little Arduino robot kit so that I could better learn and understand programming. And I had to learn C++ for the first time because I was only used to Java before that. So it helped better my understanding of programming in general, and it helped me learn about applications towards robotics. And I had to work with different sensors and measuring revolutions and wheel circumference using those sensors. Then we have our career ready practices. So the first one that I have is career ready practice 3, attend to personal health and financial well-being. I did this by making sure to have a good breakfast, have a good lunch, made sure to talk and be social there to maintain some good mental and health right there and physical. And then afterwards, after going to work, I would go to the gym to get some fitness. Uh, the second career ready practice that I practiced in was CRP4, which is communicate clearly and effectively with reason. I did this at my workplace by sending alerts, texts, and emails to Aditya, Rohit, and Mr. Hader. We always had scheduled times that were coming, and we always transmitted information and requested information so that we could always stay updated on anything. We never really sent emails or texts that were kind of wasteful or without a productive reason. And while I was on the when I was on the warehouse moving project and I was not with Mr. Hader directly, I would always text him to keep him updated on where I was. I could have improved on CRP4 by communicating with Mr. Bedell much better, but I feel like at the actual workplace, I was able to do that well. Moving on, we have CRP11, which is use technology to enhance productivity. I used my phone a lot to time myself during breaks, to set a schedule, set stuff on my calendar. I use it to set an alarm clock in the morning and an alarm clock for when I had my lunch break, and to dedicate certain amounts of time to certain projects that I was doing. And it also allowed me to look stuff up that I didn't know yet, and I even called up a company regarding a motor and what kind of stuff interfaces with the motor, so that I could then get more to get a set for that motor so that we could use it. Um, and that was it for CRP 11. Oh, also we took pictures with a small camera so that I could catalog information. The fourth CRP is CRP 12. That is work productively in teams while using cultural global competence. This was mainly utilized between me, Rohit, and Aditya because we would plan around different holidays that they might have and I don't, or that I have and they don't. And we would schedule times that worked best for everybody. And we'd always try to get team meetings in, whether it be in school or out of school or at work, to best facilitate a good way for us to communicate. Now we have some takeaways. These are the main three things I took away from my workplace, and that's there's a lot of information going back and forth between higher ups and lower ups. My boss always had to ask for approval. He always had to make sure everything was good with us, and that kind of helped me understand that there's a supply chain here. Another one is it's important to follow deadlines and procedures. We always had to be extremely careful of operational security. We had to follow all the deadlines we were given, and we had to be knowledgeable that we have to do things a certain way and that we can't be alone in particular. So we need to make sure that somebody knows where we are at all times. And then the third one is that even at work, learning is still a constant factor. Even Mr. Hader, he had a lot of engineering books and a lot of manuals near him so that he could read them when he needed to know something, or that he could have them on hand when he needed to do something new. And likewise, we were also learning a lot at our internship. So even though we were working, we were still learning a lot about what we were given. Future plans for advice. I'm just going to go for mechanical engineering at Virginia Tech. I hope to do some go to the gym, do some scuba diving, and maybe some beekeeping. Also, I'm planning on trying to get an internship there first year, which I'm thankful that I think this experience that I've gotten here through the SLE is going to help me get that. And after college, I'm hoping to land a job at a bigger company and work on some side projects. Now, advice for you rising seniors: try to find a place that you want to work at. I would recommend that you always communicate early, and that you look around, find the places near you that are in engineering, communications, any STEM field really, and try to reach out for them early. Send them a call, give them an email, and see if they can come back to you. Second tip: have fun while you're there. Goes hand in hand with finding a place you want to work with, but make sure you talk, communicate, and team build at your workplace. And it's gonna feel like you're gonna be in a community after a while. Finally, the third tip is tell your boss about what the expectations are. Ask your boss what the expectations are, because it matters a lot more now that we're in quarantine, because you should know what kind of safety procedures you're going to be going through, but also you should be asking what am I working, what clothes apparel should I bring, stuff like that, and hours, to have that all established before you come, or have it established on the day that you come so that you have an orientation day. I would recommend that you dress formal for the first day and for any days after that. And if your workplace does have a more casual attire, like minded, you can wear, semi-casual or casual. Obviously, nothing completely like too far, but stuff that you would probably wear in school, or that is safe, or that is suitable to the environment. Um, Regardless, I think that if you guys communicate, you guys find a place you want to work with, you guys talk with your boss. Communication is very important. You'll have you'll have some good time doing a very hard work. You'll have to do a lot of hard work there, but you're gonna have a very fun and rewarding time while you're there. So my main tip is just make sure you communicate with everybody. Um, Thank you all for listening to my presentation, and I hope everybody here is having a great day. Thank you. Goodbye.